Okay, so welcome everybody. This is the first VIROO webinar series. We're dealing to start like a webinar series. The idea is to have one webinar each month so I can explain all to you, all the people gathering here online, what the benefits of VIROO are, what exactly XR can provide to your company if you are not already using it, because there are many things that XR can improve to all the work processes that you probably are dealing with. And the idea is, I already told you in the chat, sorry for starting a little bit late. We were dealing with some technical issues, but I think it's working now. So if you have any questions during the webinar, there's many more things to talk about. You can leave a question in the chat so I can look at it and probably answer lively, okay? So the idea is that we made like a webinar like a year ago, but the idea is that since now we are going to make one webinar each month is to start from scratch, right? Because many of you probably know VIROO, but many of you probably don't. So the idea is that I'm going to explain what VIROO is, what exactly can provide to you, how you use it, how it works, and then I would like to make some live demos of how you can create content, what that content looks like, and that's the idea, okay? So if everything is correct, put your thumbs up in the chat if you are hearing everything correctly. If you can hear me or anything like that, please let me know so I can fix it lively, right? So the idea is that I'm going to start with a brief presentation of what VIROO is. Then I'm going to show you a live demo using my headset, using the MetaQuest. So let's start with the presentation, okay? In this case, what exactly VIROO is, okay? So VIROO, it's an XR platform. The idea is that we know that XR is going to be the next technological frontier, right? We have the AI and we have XR. Probably they are going to combine themselves in order to provide value to our companies. And the idea is that creating XR content is not that easy nowadays, right? But if we go back in the 90s when the World Wide Web started and not many people knew how to create a website, right? So you have to program it from scratch, you have to use different programs to do that. And now basically creating websites, you can do it in just one morning without having to have any program skills. So the idea is that XR is going to be the next frontier of content creation, and we want to provide a tool that it's easy for our customers and that can elevate and scale rapidly inside the work processes. So the idea is that advanced developers and people that doesn't know how to create content can use VIROO, and how exactly that works. So VIROO is a robust, ready-to-run XR platform. The idea is to integrate all your XR needs into one single platform, and you don't have to know or own any other software. You can, of course, purchase hardware like the MetaQuest, like the Pico, like the headset, which I'm going to talk about later. But it is that by just using VIROO, you can start using XR and apply that to your work processes. So there are apps for users. So imagine that you don't want to create any content at all. You just want to start right away. We are developing a huge library of content that is already developed and covers some common needs inside our clients. And I'm going to show examples of that later. And if you want just to start with that, you just purchase the licenses. You can start joining sessions and creating sessions and gathering people around the globe, and you probably won't create any content at all. But imagine that you have any specific needs that they are not covered by any of the apps that we have developed or other companies have developed and they include in the VIROO store. So the idea is that we have tools for developers. We provide an SDK that is based on Unity, and I'm going to talk about that later. It's called VIROO Studio, which is going to help you create those applications. This is going to be complete full applications that you can deploy in the platform, and we are even working in standalone versions in the version 3.0 that is coming this year. That is pretty exciting about that. So the idea is, if you want to start just using the platform, you have apps for that. If you want to create custom content that covers your needs, you can do that by creating yourself or using an external company that can develop the content using VIROO Studio, right? Okay, thanks, Raj, for that we can hear you loud and clear. So I'm going to continue with the presentation. The idea is that VIROO has some key features, right? I'm going to put this full screen. No matter how you create the content inside VIROO Studio, the good thing about it is that everything just by default is going to be multi-user and remote collaboration ready, okay? You just focus on creating content. You don't have to worry about all the networking issues that you normally tend to deal when you are creating a complex application and you want to connect people around the globe. The good thing in VIROO is that every action, every interaction that you define is going to be spread around all the network inside the people that connect into that session. And that people can connect using different headsets or different devices. We support the OpenXR standard, so no matter if you have a MetaQuest, no matter if you have a Pico, a HTC Vive, or even if you don't own a headset. We know that not many people nowadays still owns a headset because VR is still a pretty niche. So the idea is that if you are launching a session and you want to connect your team across the globe, those people that doesn't have a headset like this one, the idea is that they can join the session, and they can interact in the same way. And of course, they are not going to have the same experience because seeing everything in XR, as I'm going to show later, is the best way possible to do that. But at least that people can connect using a laptop, using a regular screen, keyboard and mouse. They can move around, they can interact with the objects, they can speak with the rest of the team, and you can have dozens of people connecting all across the globe, and depending on what kind of device they have. So the latest key feature is that we also support full-scale deployment. Not many platforms support this, and we think it's the best way to experience XR. These are what we call VIROO rooms, where people can move around freely in large-scale immersive rooms, like 100 square meters or even more, and 8-10 people can move around in the same environment. It's a pretty different experience when you can share these virtual objects, but with people that are near to you. So the idea is that whenever you want to move in XR, because you probably have like large spaces, you don't need to use the joystick or the buttons. You can just walk around, which is the best experience, and is going to prevent motion sickness, which most people can have. We believe that if the experience is well designed and you just move around through the environment by walking, you're probably not going to ever experience motion sickness. And the people that are going to be connected from other places, like in the office or me, I'm at home, I can join with a headset, and no matter if you are using the headset at home, no matter if you are in a VIROO room, no matter if you are in a regular laptop with the screen, your keyboard and mouse, you can join the same exact session. There are no different sessions. You can create different sessions if you want, but many people, no matter what device, can join the same content, okay? So we're going to follow with the presentation. The important thing is that XR can be applied to all your value chain of the company. So probably XR, that is pretty common to use it in training fields, right? Because one of the key advantages in XR is the motion controls that it has. It gives you the ability to interact with content in a totally different way. So you really feel the sense that you have teleported to another place, and you can replicate complex work processes in there. So you can grab objects, you can interact, and you basically do the same process in a way that it's pretty similar to the way that you would do it in the real place. So you probably are thinking about acquiring VIROO or using XR for training inside your organization, but you are going to see that VIROO provides much more. So once you have purchased VIROO for any of these specific departments, you see that all the rest departments across your organization can use it as well. So the good thing about VIROO is that they are floating licenses. So imagine that you have 5 floating licenses purchased, but they can be used in the morning for the training department, and then in the evening they can be used for the designing department. So it can be applied to design, to prototype, development, manufacturing, promotion. Promotion in XR, it's a really huge aspect as well, because you can see things in a full scale and in a way that no other technology can provide you. It's based on a multi-tenant reliable architecture. What that means? That means that we share common technology with multiple customers, and we ensure that they all run the latest release. So VIROO solves that for you. When you are developing a complex application, normally you will need to manage whenever you create a new version, how that is going to be spread through all the headsets. Well, the good thing is that here you create only once, you upload it to your cloud, and it's going to be send it to all the headsets and all the devices. In this case, as I said before, VIROO is a desktop application. So you need to plug your headset to your computer, and whenever there's a new version of the app that you are going to launch ready, it's going to prompt you, and you can just update it and join the same session. That way, all the people gathering in the same session are going to experience the same version of the content. So again, one other of the platform key elements is that we have like three big ones, right? We have the VIROO applications, which is basically the content that you are going to develop or that you are going to use. Again, you can use the already to use XR apps, or you can create your own custom content using VIROO Studio, which is the SDK for Unity. The VIROO Core, which is basically all the services that the platform provides to you, right? Once you have created your content, you don't have to worry about management. You don't have to worry about the networking, the analytics, or all the identity of the people that are going to connect, creating the sessions. This is all solved by the platform in a pretty straightforward way, right? The other thing is that we have the VIROO players. We need a tool that allows us to create those sessions and join those sessions. So I'm going to show you the VIROO player right now to show you when we finish the presentation, to show you a live demo of what kind of content you can expect. But you basically launch the VIROO player, you create a session or join an already existing one. You can choose from all the content that you have developed and you're right away inside that virtual environment, right? So VIROO Core also is microservice enabled. So that means that all the servers are related to multi-user and remote collaboration capabilities, among others. It's cloud agnostic, so you can have your own private cloud, you can use the public one, or we can even deploy on premises. And this is key because some of our clients demand pretty high standards of security because all the data is pretty sensitive. So with VIROO, and not many other platforms support this, we can deploy on premises. We can deploy just in our servers and never is going to be connected to the internet. We can integrate with the cloud you're already using or deploy again in your own services. And we as a company have the ISO 27001. That means all the content and processes that we develop at Virtualware are certified for data protection and security. Again, really important from some sectors. These are the VIROO players. Again, these are for now desktop applications that are installed in your Windows computer. And this allows you to create sessions, to join sessions. This is the room player, which basically shows you the entire space of a VIROO room, the large-scale immersive room where people are going to move around. And then this is the interface that I'm going to show you right now. Once you are in the session, you see the avatars of the rest of the participants, and you can move around. You can even choose if you show the controllers or not. And of course, the best way to connect is using your headset plugged in to your PC, right? VIROO apps. So I'm going to show you some videos for this because I think it's pretty more useful than just showing you this presentation. If you go to our VIROO YouTube channel in YouTube, you can see that we have videos for all of our apps that we are developing right now. So I'm going to shut down the sound for a bit. This is the anatomy human body. Again, we are developing like a huge catalog of ads, and most of them are related to one specific need that our common clients they have. In this case, this is an anatomy application. This is both captured in VR and in desktop mode. So as you can see, when you are in VR, you can look around, you can interact with using the controllers. You can see the different layers of the skeleton of the human body. And when you look at this in a real scale, surrounded by this environment, really feeling the sense that you have teleport to another place is another way to learn. It's totally different for seeing any video or any book or any lecture that you probably have received through your life. This is a totally new way to interact and learn. That's why I thought that, or I said before, that VIROO is pretty good for learning and for training, but can be applied for many more things. Imagine that this could be your new product that you want to sell, and you can gather your clients around the model to see it, to manipulate it, and see videos, multimedia, whatever you may want, okay? This is one of the examples that we have. We have another example which is called CivilWorks. Again, XR is not only useful for training, it can be applied for many sectors, many kind of work processes, and this is a really good one as well. As you can see how the building is shaping around you in real time. You can change the colors of the environment, you can move around, you can change the materials. All these actions has been predefined and pre-developed using VIROO Studio. And the good thing is that you can create all the content that you are seeing right now without having to know how to code. If you know how to code, that's good, because you can always use your custom scripts. You can create your scripts using C#. You can integrate those with VIROO, and I'm going to talk about that later with VIROO Studio. But this is the kind of content that you can expect from VIROO, right? I don't know if you're, I'm not looking at the chat right now, but if you leave in some questions, don't worry, I will have a look at the end. This is again another huge use case for XR. This is applied to the medicine environment. This is a hospital. You have like a specific clinic place. You need to grab the objects. You need to place it in a particular order and then make some conclusions about the patient, okay? Again, many more apps that if you want just to use the platform right away and you don't want or you don't need to create any content, you can just use all the content that we are developing, okay? But what happens again if you want to create your custom content? I'm going to follow with the presentation here. In this case, custom development. Again, VIROO is a Unity-based platform. That means that all the content that you need to create, if you want to make a custom app, is going to be done in Unity. And this is great because some of the platforms, what they do is that they create like a custom content creation environment. And that could be a low barrier to start. They could be more straightforward and they could be easily to start doing things, but you will probably reach a limit or a barrier that you want to maybe do something that hasn't been contemplated by the platform. With Unity, you have total freedom. Unity is one of the most popular game engines in the world. The other is Unreal, but Unity is more spread out in the industrial environment. So probably teams in your organization already know how to use Unity, and we don't want to force developers to learn another whole creation environment. So you will see that creating for VIROO is just like creating for Unity, but simpler, because you don't have to worry again about the multi-device, about the networking. You just drag and drop components, drag and drop your C# custom-made components as well, and you can create really rich applications with this. Once you have developed those applications, you just upload it to the cloud. And again, remember all the benefits that VIROO shows you or brings to you just by using it. We develop in the cloud, we have remote collaboration, built-in tools for creating in Unity, all the things that we have talked about. Even here, you can see that we have mixed reality capabilities. And if I'm not wrong, I think that I have a video here that can show it to you. Here we have the VIROO Immersive room that I talked about before, the VIROO Simumatic app. Here we have like an integration with the polygon streaming capabilities of HTC Vipers. This is good, again, because if you're working with Unity, any external plugin, any third-party company that has developed a really cool tool for Unity can be used in VIROO. And that can be said for other platforms that have a custom content creation process. In this case, polygon streaming is a really cool technology made by Vipers. And what they've done is that one of the main constraints of VR is that it's really demanding of power of your computer. So if you want to visualize really complex models made with millions of polygons at the same time, your PC probably is going to struggle. So in this case, Vive, what they've done is that they provide a web tool that can be connected to Unity, and you can see all the elements at the same time, and they're going to be changing its detail whenever you approach them. So if you really get really close to the elements, you are going to see the full detail, all the polygons, but if you get far from them, you are going to see how they optimize so you never reach the top of your graphics card in your computer. So this is a really cool integration that we've done. And what I wanted to show you here is that here in our channel, we have also the mixed reality capabilities. In this case, I think it was even in this video. No, in the Simumatic, yeah, that's it. This is another really great integration that we've done. Simumatic was an emulation platform for PLCs and industries that you can see all the mechanic that you have in a factory, and you can see in real time and connect it. It was so cool that we made an integration last year, and now Simumatic is part of Virtualware. They are a really great team, and what we've done here is that we connect VIROO Studio with Simumatic, and we created an application called VIROO App Simumatic. So whenever you join a session, you are going to see live all the content that is running in the Simumatic platform, and you can move around, you can interact with it. And this is the one part that I was showing before. This is the large-scale immersive room, and we can even support, as you can see here, mixed reality. For now is with the HTC Vive Focus Vision. As you can see, the only thing virtual here are the elements, and the rest of the thing is the office that we have at Bilbao. So if you are in a large-scale immersive room and you want to share that content with people that are live with you, I think it's better not to see the avatars, but just to see them and move around, and the rest of the thing is going to be virtual and the background is going to be real. So mixed reality is also going to be a huge thing in the future, and of course VIROO is going to support that. And the good thing is that when we finally launch the standalone version of VIROO, where you can deploy standalone apps. We are going to support mixed reality in other headsets as well that doesn't now give access to the mixed reality capabilities through the PC, but they do in the standalone version. So that's something that we're definitely going to cover. So I'm going to look if anyone has any question. I think for now we're good. I'm going to switch right now to make a live demo. What do you think about that? Just to see if you can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. Not more slides from now. I'm going to launch the single player. Again, this is like a desktop application that I have in my computer. So imagine that I already have VIROO on, I own my licenses. I can just start the app and I want to create a new session. Whenever I go to the single player, it's going to check all the content. I'm logging with my username that you can see here, but I already told you that I want to remember, so I don't need to put the code and the password anytime. So all the sessions that you are seeing here, this is live sessions that are taking place inside Virtualware. So whenever you connect to the single player, you are going to see all the live sessions in your organization, okay? But in this case, I don't want to join any session as well. What I want to do is to create a new session. In this case, it's going to check with the cloud with all the applications that we have published and we have uploaded to our cloud. It's going to check all that content, and this is all the apps that we are working with and that I can access to and create a session. In this case, I'm going to go to a really basic one. This is the demos app. We're going to start this session. It's going to check if I have the latest version of the app. In this case, I do. And I have here like a session ID that I could just copy and share to the rest of the people that they want to join the session. In this case, I'm going to press play. It's going to prompt me with a message. I can change my nickname. This is the nickname that is going to pop up on top of my avatar. And I can join the session using the headset or using the keyboard and mouse. I'm going to use the keyboard and mouse for now, but then I'm going to try to do it with headset, but this is live. I don't know what can go wrong. So I want to show you just the content before, and then we can try to use the headset, okay? The idea is to show you how it works, the application, and then we are going to jump briefly into Unity to show you how the content creation process takes place, what kind of actions we have pre-developed for you to help you with that content creation process. And then next webinars, we will dive into creating complex interactions, making small tutorials so you can see how really you can integrate, like the example I showed you before with Biverse polygon streaming, how you can take advantage of everything that all people is doing around and bring it to Unity and using VIROO. So as you can see, I'm going to put the full screen here. This is like the VIROO lobby that we provide to all of our clients. This is like a demos app that contains different Unity scenes, so you can move around and you can have like a better understanding of what VIROO can provide to you. In this case, if I go here to the menu, I can mute myself here. We have a microphone, so we have built-in voice chat for this platform. So whenever you join a session, you are going to hear the people. You don't have to use Teams or Zoom on any other chat application for that. This is built right into VIROO. We have a settings panel here. It prompts you with the instructions on how to move around when you are using keyboard and mouse. We have even a fly mode. So if you want to move around, imagine that you are in a huge environment or you are looking at a plane or something like that. I'm going to show you just right now. We can move it. You can show the controllers or not. If you are not going to grab any object, maybe you don't want to see them. But in this case, I'm going to just move to another scene. This is a thing that I really like, because this was the first thing, in this case, an application that I created when we launched VIROO like 5 years ago. And I needed to learn how to use VIROO Studio. I'm not a programmer myself, and all the content that you are going to see right now was created by me in just 1 week. Of course, I already have the 3 models that were provided to me by the 3D modeling team that we have at Virtualware, but all the animations, all the sounds, all the interactions were created by me while I was learning how to use VIROO. So in this case, if I wanted to replicate this kind of environment today, probably it will take me a lot of less, because I now already know how to use VIROO. So just let me show you how this works. I think the sound is going to work, but in this case, whenever I jump in this circle, it's going to prompt me with this message. I'm going to select the English language.
Hello, I welcome you to the VIROO repair shop. Please press the button to open the hatches.
Okay, now we have, as you can see, This can be pretty simple, but it's hard to do if you are not a programmer. This is like a workflow process where you need to interact with something, then that things needs to disappear and another interaction needs to happen. So this is like a step-by-step process that you need to complete in order to get to the end of the, in this case, to the end of the training. So this is really simple to do in VIROO, which can be hard doing by yourself just by coding. Again, I'm not a programmer and I created myself just in a matter of days. So I can open the hatches. As you can see, all the animations were created using the tools that are built into Unity. The robot now has some clothes. And as you can see here, we have the jet engine. The doors close, and we are going to receive some instructions.
It looks like we just received a jet engine. You can use the screen to inspect the different parts or approach and interact directly with them.
So in this case, this is a pretty basic scene, but you can see how we can interact. We can change the exterior with this cool animation. So we can have a look at the jet engine in a totally different way. This in VR, I'm going to do it right now just to test it out. So you can have a taste of how different it is to look at things in VR, comparing it to just a 2D screen, right? I can explore the engine whenever I press this button. And this is cool because these are pretty basic interactions. We're just moving objects, rotating objects, playing sounds, popping some images. But when you apply those to a more complex environment or more complex model, such as this one, it really seems like it's a complex app to develop and it's really not that hard. So the good thing about VIROO is that even people that are not experts can create this kind of content. So you can bring to the content creation process people from other departments that can show and apply ideas that probably the programming team didn't thought about. And that's what I like the most, that this gathers the whole team in your organization to provide ideas and to improve on all the content. So when I created this content, I created like an error. Whenever I try to start the engine, the first time is going to prompt me with an error.
Looks like the engine fuel system is missing. Please take this part and put it back in place.
Now this piece appears. As you can see, I have a text that is telling me that I only need to press 8 to grab the item. I will need to place it, and where exactly do I need to place this piece? So I created like a queue here, as you can see, to help users to know where they need to place. So whenever this piece is going to contact or hit this box, it's going to automatically attach to the jet engine.
Perfect. The engine seems to be working properly now. You can now turn it on to check its operation.
And now that the engine is working, I just need to go to the engine and launch it. Now you can see the animation, you can see the sound, you can hear the sound. And I can do even things that I can't do in real life, which is exploding the engine even while it's working. So I can have a better understanding of how it works. I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to exit the session for now. Don't tell me that this is really exciting. This is really cool. And now I'm going to try it briefly in the headset so you can see the difference, right? The session is already on. The only thing I jump out to the session and now I can try to join the session using the headset. So let's see if this works. Just give me a couple of minutes. I need to connect my Quest to the computer. And this is I'm going to do this using a wireless technology which is called virtual desktop. In this case, I don't need to plug a cable to my computer. I'm going to check if I have virtual desktop here. As you can see, this is one of the ways you can connect the headset. One of the good things about VIROO is that since we are OpenXR, we again allows you to join the sessions or use your headset as you are probably used to. So in this case, I'm now connected to SteamVR. I'm seeing the SteamVR environment here. So I'm going to press play. I'm going to select VR headset. We even support hand tracking in some headsets, such as the one as the HTC Vive, and we are going to see if this works. It's going to take a while. I have Unity. I'm transmitting live through LinkedIn, and I'm in a laptop computer, so you can imagine what kind of workload my computer is experimenting right now. But as you can see, it's working, right? I'm going to jump into the headset so you can see exactly what kind of different interactions I can do with this. I'm going to turn on my controllers, and as you can see, I have total freedom right now. This is not using the keyboard and mouse. I now have a sense of scale, really good. I have the sense that I'm really here, and let's see those same scene that I was looking at before. In this case, the jet engine. I assume this is working great. Yeah, okay. So now I'm hearing the jet engine, and I can jump away. Now, since I'm sitting down, I'm not exactly in the place that I wanted to, but I can interact the same way, as you can see, and can move around. But now I really understand the size of all the elements. And as you can see, when I need to grab the piece and put it in and attach it to the jet engine, is going to be really different while I was using the keyboard and mouse. So they are like complex interactions that probably can be done using the keyboard and mouse, and that's why VR, it's really much more useful when we are trying to simulate this kind of interactions and full work processes. But in this case, when I created this scene, I created just a really simple interaction, so people without the headset can make it around. Let's see if I can. I need to go to the start engine here. As we can see, there's a missing part. We are waiting for the robot to give me the piece, and I hope that I can grab it since So in this case, I can just grab the piece, and it's not only that I have total freedom to move around, I have total freedom to inspect it. So in this case, this is something really impossible to do with the keyboard and mouse. Imagine that this is a much complex piece. I could have like a design review process of it, see if everything is working properly. In that case, I can just attach it to but as you can see, I love VR. I never get used to this. So I just attach it, and again, I will just start the engine as the way before. But you can see how straightforward it is, right? We were working in the standalone mode, or in the desktop mode, using the 2D version, and now in a matter of seconds we jumped into VR and it's all working. This is the good thing about VIROO. When I created this scene, I only focus on the creation content process. I only worry about how I create this interaction, how I drag this component, and I upload it to the cloud, and then it's working in VR in a multi-user environment. I could share that session ID with many people in virtual world, and they can join me. This blows my mind because I'm not a programmer, and now this kind of content creation is available to me. And imagine what an advanced XR developer can do. I'm going to close the single player for now. We don't have much more time left, but since I started a little bit, I want to show you some things. So I'm going to close some of the windows here. I want to talk briefly about VIROO Studio because there are some things that probably I forgot to tell. And in this case, let me just try to, that's it, put you in presentation mode. So VIROO Studio, again, is a Unity-based custom app development workflow. We provide you with a Unity project that you are going to open in Unity. Everything is going to look familiar to you if you are a Unity developer or if you ever want to create something. And the good thing is that imagine that you purchase VIROO and you start creating content. You are going to be learning how to use Unity if you haven't done before. And if for whatever reason, years from now, you want to stop using VIROO, all the content that you have developed, you can use many of the things that you have created to apply it to another content. So all the content doesn't live in a custom content creation environment. It lives in Unity, and you can probably use many of the things that you have done. Of course, you will lose the multi-user functionalities and the multi-device, but you can, upon of that content, all the animations, all the sounds are going to be still live in Unity. This is one of the things that we like. We don't create like a jail to developers because we want them to use the exact same environment that they use right now. So the good thing is that we have different ways in order to create content. We have the VIROO no-code interaction system. We have developed a huge library of components. These are C# components that we have developed. And whenever you want to create an interaction, you just drag and drop these components to your game objects inside VIROO Studio. The other thing that we support now since version 2.6 is Unity Visual Scripting. This is really great because for many people, just using the components, it could be a little intimidating, but when you have all your workflow and all your process developed using visual scripting, just by looking at your notes and your boxes, you can see what exactly your content does. Imagine that this was the Jet Engine application that I just showed you, and every box regards a game object or an action that is live in the Unity. So imagine that this is a box regarding the robot. So whenever the robot speaks, it's going to launch a sound, it's going to then connect it to an image which is the button to open the hat engine, that is going to open the doors, which is going to launch an animation. So you can follow all the process using visual scripting, right? So, and we also provide with VIROO Lab. VIROO Lab, I have it open it right here, so I'm going to show you right now, is a Unity scene that we provide which contains all the predefined components, all the examples, all the things that are already built into VIROO and you can use in order to create your content. We have a sample scenes where you can move around, you can test it out, you can see all the kinds of interactions with buttons, with sounds, with grabbable objects, all the things that you have just seen in the Jet Engine, we provide with this scene. The good thing about this is that since this is a sample thing, it serves you to know what components does exist, so what kind of interactions you can expect to create without having to create your own ones. But you can even go to any of them. Imagine that I want to replicate the behavior of this box, and I can go directly to those game objects and see what components have been added to this object in order to work, how they are configured, how all the parameters are set, so I can apply that to my already custom content. Or imagine that I only need to copy and paste this to my project, and I can upon from that and change the 3D model, and everything is going to work, right? So this is what VIROO Lab does to the developer. And again, finally, we support custom scripting. If you are an advanced XR developer, but you don't want to worry about all the networking and multi-device compatibility, you can use VIROO, you can use your own custom code to create more advanced things like scoring, like variables, like many complex applications or even integrations with third-party plugins. You can use that. And the best thing about it is that you can combine the three. You can use the VIROO interaction system with our predefined components, you can use some things with visual scripting, and you can make some things with custom scripting. Everything is going to work inside one application, which I think it's pretty great. So again, with this, you can have a low entry. So many people that are not expert programmers or even that doesn't know how to code can create this kind of applications. Again, the VIROO apps that I have showed you before, all of them have been created for our team, and many of our team are modelers, animators that doesn't know how to code, but they can create this kind of content in a matter of weeks or months. And this is basically what is VIROO, what is VIROO Studio, what is the VIROO single player, how you use all this kind of technology. And again, in the next webinars, I want to show you deep tutorials on how to create complex applications, but I want to show you just one little thing. So just one basic example of how that content creation takes place. I want to create a new interaction. In this case, I'm in the VIROO lobby. This is a thing that we provide if you don't want to obtain the 3D models of the environment yourself. We provide this kind of minimalistic environment. So imagine that you want just to drag and drop your engine or something like that, and you want to look it in VR. It's as easy as drag and dropping the 3D model here. As you can see, I have one example, and I'm going to create a basic interaction. Imagine that I want to create a new cube. The ones that have used Unity before probably are going to be familiar with this creation content process. If not, you'll see that I'm not going to open visual scripting or create any kind of code in this process. It's just drag and drop elements. It's all visual scripting, and you're going to see how it works and how fast it's working. I'm going to hide these other objects. And what I want to do is that whenever I point at this cube, I want to press the trigger, or in this case a mouse, and I want it to scale from double its size. Just a basic interaction, but again, when you combine these different interactions in a more complex environment, and one interaction added to the other is going to create a really powerful application. In this case, I just need to go to Inspector. Here at the, I'm going to pull the full screen. Here at the right, I'm going to check on Add Component. In this case, we have all the components that are already included in Unity, but we have a folder here called VIROO. We have actions, we have grab, we have interactions, interactor, menu, play, start, teleport, many other things. So in this case, I want to interact with the cube. So what I'm going to search is for a way to interact with it. But we also support the XR interactable system that Unity provides. So in this case, I'm going to search for XR simple interactable. So the ones that you have use the XR Interact toolkit before, you are going to be right at home. That's the one thing that we want. So in this case, this is the XR Simple Interactable component, all the actions that you can launch. And in this case, I want to create that action for scaling my cube. I go to VIROO, I go to actions, and I'm going to search for a scale action. And pay attention so to how easy it is to configure this. I added the action. The only thing I need to tell the system is that I want my cube to scale. So I just drag and drop my cube here to the target object, and I specified a particular size. In this case, I want to be double size. So I put 2 in the target, and I'm going to check the box reverse after play. This is going to help me whenever I interact with the cube again, it's going to go back to its original size. So once that I have my action already developed, the only thing I need to do here is go to the activate parameter here, and I'm going to drag and drop the same cube because I want to access that scale action and I want to execute that. So let's see if this works. If not, I have the other prepared because when I'm doing some things live, I probably forgot something, but it was just like a drag and drop workflow. I didn't open Visual Scripting. I don't know how to code. Let's see if this is already working. So in this case, I go here, I see my cube. I see that the interaction is working because the mouse is turning blue, and whenever I press, it's going to interact. Again, this seems like a really simple interaction, but when you apply this to a more complex 3D model, in this case, I can go here. Let's see what I created with the other piece. We can create full applications just by combining simple interactions, which is basically what we do always in Unity. I have here like a more complex 3D model, as you can see, and whenever I interact with it, it's going to launch what we call the rotate continuously action. And if I press it again, it's going to turn another way. Imagine using this to promote your product. You gather all your clients in a virtual environment all across the globe. You are chatting using the headset, using the keyboard and mouse, and you can see your piece. And remember, at full scale, because when you are using VR, the sense is really different. The good thing about this is that now you have your content and you can just publish the application, upload it to the cloud, and it's going to be available in the single player. So I think that pretty much sums where I wanted to talk to you today. Let's see if I have some questions here. I see that I have 2. How can I import SolidWorks project to VIROO? Okay, so the good thing is that when you're talking about importing 3D models to VIROO, you don't really have to think about importing things to VIROO. You just need to think, how can I import that kind of content into Unity? So if you can import it into Unity, it's going to work in VIROO. In the case of SolidWorks, I'm not a 3D expert, but normally what people does when you find a format that is not compatible by default with Unity, you can use Pixith. Pixith is a Unity plugin. It was an external company, but it was so powerful that it was acquired by Unity, and now it's a plugin in the Unity industry license is included. If not, you can purchase a part, but it's a Unity plugin that can be just you just drag and drop your files, and they are not only going to be converted to Unity, which works with OBJ8 or FBX formats, but you can even optimize those. So if the piece is really huge and it has a lot of amount of polygons, Pixith allows you and helps you by compressing that with not affecting the visual appearance of the piece. So whenever you are launching in VR, it's not going to be hard for your computer. So that would be one of the best ways to go. There's another platform called Ventana that we are working now, and we are seeing how it combines with Unity and with VIROO. But you can use Pixith, you can use Cortana or Ventana, sorry, or you can use all the platforms that supports that conversion of 3D models. Will you, Marco, thanks again, Maddie, for your question. Marco says, will you maybe share a recording of this webinar? Yes, sure. This is going to be updated uploaded, to our YouTube channel. So if you don't have the chance to join live to our webinars, you can always go to their YouTube channel and you are going to see the whole video there. And if not, we even are going to create shorts about the most important parts of the webinars, right? So this is all for now. I think we make it a little bit longer than I wanted to. I think it's pretty interesting. It's the first step of knowing what VIROO can provide to your company, how is the content creation process, what apps are already available. And again, we are in 2025. If your company is not already using XR, maybe it's starting to be a little bit late. So don't get behind, jump into the XR wagon, as probably you are in the AI wagon, because XR is going to be the next frontier of spatial computing. So thanks all for being here, and we will see you in the next webinar. Bye-bye.